So let me thank you for the opportunity to talk about the biggest international story of your professional lifetime, which is also the most important international challenge the world will face for as far as the eye can see. The story, of course, is the rise of China. Never before have so many people risen so far, so fast, on so many different dimensions. The challenge is the impact of China's rise, the discombobulation this will cause the United States and the international order of which the U.S. has been the principal architect and guardian. The past 100 years have been what historians now call an American century. Americans have become accustomed to their place at the top of every pecking order. So the very idea of another country that could be as big and strong as the U.S. or bigger strikes many Americans as an assault on who they are. For perspective on what we're now seeing in this rivalry, it's useful to locate it on the larger map of history. The past 500 years have seen 16 cases in which a rising power threatened to displace a ruling power. 12 of those ended in war. So just in November, we'll all pause to mark the 100th anniversary of the final day of a war that became so encompassing that it required historians to create an entirely new category, World War. So on the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month in 1918, the guns of World War I fell silent, but 20 million individuals lay dead. I know that this is a sophisticated audience, so you know about the rise of China. I'm going to focus, therefore, on the impact of China's rise, on the U.S., on the international order, and on the prospects for war and peace. But having taught at Harvard over many years, I've learned that from time to time it's useful to take a short pause just to make sure we're all on the same page. So the way I do this is I call a timeout, I give students a pop quiz, ungraded, of course. Okay. So let's try this. The quiz, timeout, pop quiz. Question. 40 years ago, 1978, China sets out on its march to the market. At that point, what percentage of China's 1 billion citizens were struggling to survive on less than $2 a day? Take a guess. 25%? 50? 75? 90? What do you think? 90. 9 out of every 10 on less than $2 a day. 2018, 40 years later, what about the numbers? What's your bet? Take a look. Fewer than 1 in 100 today. And China's president has promised that within the next 3 years, those last tens of millions will have been raised up above that threshold. So it's a miracle, actually, in our lifetime. Hard to believe, but brute facts are even harder to ignore. A nation that didn't even appear on any of the international league tables 25 years ago has soared to rival and in some areas surpass the United States.